This Choircast podcast is brought to you by Winter Moon and Coffee Stain, poems and lyrics by Keith Giles. In this collection, author and poet Keith Giles has gathered some of his best poems and song lyrics into one volume. Written between 1980 and 2024, these poems span a variety of subjects ranging from love and loss to grief and restoration, and everything learned along the way. Winter Moon and Coffee Stain available now on Amazon.
Hey heathens, you're listening to the Deadly Faith Podcast where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Laci.
And this shit is spine-chilling.
Cross my heart, oh to die. Welcome to the dark side. Oh to die, oh to die.
So, we're still in our spooky season.
Spooky, ooky skeletons. Dun, 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 dun. I don't remember the rest of that song.
And shivers down my spine. All right.
I'm trying,
so we're
guys.
On to,
okay. I'm trying.
We are on to another case of vampirism. I'm not sure which way you say it. And cannibalism. So, I've got trigger warnings for you. Trigger warnings are murder, substance abuse, animal abuse, mutilation, necrophilia, vampirism, sodomy, and cannibalism. I'm really sorry because Laci's eyes just like bugged out. She looks like a cartoon character.
Guys, I was not expecting this. Jesus.
Happy Halloween. I'm sorry.
This isn't Halloween.
This is no laughing matter. I'm sorry. This is no laughing matter.
My gosh. I'm nervous now.
It's
Jesus.
Scary.
We interrupt today's episode to bring you a message from our sponsor, Javy. Say goodbye to chaotic mornings and hello to delicious, convenient coffee. With Javy's coffee concentrate in a variety of flavors, you can whip up your favorite brew in no time. Whether you prefer hot, iced, or even blended coffee, Javy's got you covered, okay? Just a teaspoon of this magic elixir is all you need for a flavorful kickstart to your day. Trust me, once you try it, you'll be hooked. From classic flavors like vanilla and caramel to decadent options like cookies and cream and caramel brulee, Javy literally has something for every coffee lover. As a mom with 3 kids, 2 dogs, 3 bunnies, and 25 chickens, I love how Javy helps me make a delicious iced coffee every morning in under 2 minutes. Seriously, guys, it's just so quick. You just pour it all together, stir it in, and enjoy. My favorite flavor right now is the caramel brulee, but I did just order the cookies and cream along with the decaf so I can enjoy an afternoon or evening coffee without jacking up my sleep schedule. They've got original and they've got even more other flavors to come. They've got mocha as well. You really don't want to miss this. So if you want to save some time each morning and even a little money, or if you just want to try a damn good cup of coffee, try Javy today. Don't wait. Click the link in the show notes and use code Laci33468 at checkout to enjoy 20% off your purchase. Again, click the link in the show notes and use code Laci33468 at checkout. And that is Laci with an I. Enjoy that 20% off, guys, and back to the show. All right, let's dive in.
We're talking about the vampire of Sacramento, or better known as Richard Trenton Chase.
Okay. Richard Dick. Gotcha.
I still don't get why they're nicknamed that.
I don't. I'm like, it's not even shortened, Richard.
I know. Well, same thing for like Margaret with Peggy. I don't get it.
Margaret and Peggy? What is that shit?
I don't know. I don't know.
No. It's the lead in the water. Nice.
Richard terrorized local communities with his gruesome and senseless violence. Let's talk about his early life. He was born on May 23rd of 1950 in Sacramento, California. His childhood was pretty normal for the most part. Just think of a typical 1950s family. So the dad is the head of the house. Mom stays at home. She's got little voice. And there's a lot of physical abuse. There's a lot of child abuse happening. Closed off mindset. You know, it was the culture to hurt your kids as a form of discipline. He was emotionally and physically abused. In this way. I mean, almost every child in the 1950s was, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't want to say all, because I'm sure
there were some.
Not everyone did this, but he was raised Catholic. Catholicism in the 1950s. I'll just give you a little taste of it.
Okay.
repressed sexuality in all the ways.
It's always that.
The patriarchy has all the power. Very much abusive at the time. So corporal punishment, physical punishment, whether to kids or to other people, just other adults, that was it. That was the culture.
Yeah.
He fit in at school for the most part, but he did have problems with bedwetting. And also, it's a sharp turn from bedwetting. He also harmed and killed cats.
Jesus Christ. That's a sharp turn.
Huge indicator of lack of conscience. He would mutilate them specifically.
Okay, but this makes sense in the sense of like he was beat and there was corporal punishment in the home. Did you say the mom was beat as well?
I'm assuming. I don't have facts on that. I just know the typical 1950s family.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're being taught in these formidable years, you're going to have bedwetting because that's still, that's trauma. And you're going to be taught that like, you're not going to be taught to care for those around you and things around you. You're going to exhibit the same behaviors you're being taught, but who are you going to pick on or hurt? Not things that are bigger than you. Yeah. Things that are smaller. What's smaller than you? Animals.
A squirrel, a small animal. Yeah. So unfortunately, it makes sense. We've connected dots there. Yeah. Also, it just seems like a form of control that we notice in a lot of serial killers or other like criminals that have hurt animals. It's, you pick on something smaller than you because you have no control over the person that's hurting you. Because you're the prey in that circumstance. So, in high school, he started trying weed and LSD, but it quickly spiraled into addiction. That is a question mark. You sensed a question mark at the end. I know you did. In general, weed and hallucinogenic substances are not addictive in their basic qualities, but depending on manufacturer and depending on a person's psychological state and history of addictive personality traits, that can create an issue with pretty much anything. It doesn't matter if it's a harmful substance or not. So, I am no doctor.
Yep, I'm following.
I am no doctor, though. So don't come for me. As a teenager, Richard also made the discovery that he couldn't get an erection despite being attracted to women.
What?
I don't know much about this because, like, my understanding is when you're a teenage boy, you have so much testosterone that you'll get involuntary erections.
Multiple times a day.
That's what I thought. But apparently he could not get an erection, period.
He had ED at like 13?
I guess so, yeah. I mean...
I'm confused. I'm so confused.
And I will say, he actually thought to himself at a certain point, I wonder if I don't have enough blood in my body.
Oh, no.
It might come back around. Anyway, at 18, his dad got him a job as a typist. I don't really know what that means. It sounds like a receptionist or a data entry specialist.
Yeah. That's I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Okay. And at 21, he moved out with some roommates. But he was kicked out by the roommates very shortly after. He was only there for a couple of weeks, apparently, because he had erratic behavior. They said he would like walk around naked and like be just kind of like odd.
Sorry, what?
Just in general, he was just kind of odd. And
you know these people for 2 weeks and you're like, what's up? I'm just going to walk around balls out. Like, what?
Yeah, casual. Is it casual now? Chaperone. Yeah. Anyway.
He took Casual Friday to a whole new level.
Gross. So he was kicked out and he had to move back with his mom. So at this point, he's entering his 20s and his parents are divorced. I think they got divorced in 72. Okay. So they live separately. When we enter his 20s, his headspace is beginning to show signs of like being super warped. If it wasn't before, now it's like we're entering a new level of warpedness, whatever. I don't know if that's a word.
I like that word.
Whippedness. He thought he was being poisoned by his mother.
Okay, wait. This is his early 20s?
Uh-huh.
All right. This is in your early 20s.
I'm sorry. Is this a normal thing to think in your early 20s? That you're...
No.
Okay.
But if you're prone to mental illness in the senses of like, where you like literally start losing your mind.
Does it manifest in the early 20s?
Psychosis. Yeah, it usually, that's the most common is in your early 20s. So if he has any kind of mental health diagnosis issue, that sounds...
This tracks. Okay.
Like this could be it. Yeah.
So he also...
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor. He also thinks that bones are growing out from the back of his head. And he actually shaves just the back of his head so he could see it.
Oh my gosh.
That, of course, was not true. The bones were not protruding from his head or growing out of the back of his head. He also believed that his stomach was upside down and that his pulmonary artery was stolen. If your pulmonary artery is stolen, you are not alive anymore.
You are dead.
You are dead as a doorknob.
Yeah. All of this is screaming he needs to be admitted into a psych ward for a psych hold. Mm-hmm.
He was also just saying that he was in extreme pain all the time. And he began trying to inject himself with animal blood because he believed he needed fresh blood for his organs so they would not disintegrate.
What?
Yeah.
Because his pulmonary artery was stolen.
I want to know who he thinks stole the pulmonary artery, though. And where is it? If it was stolen, at what point was it stolen?
Or was it sold on the black market? Maybe that's what he thought. There you go.
So at this point, you already know that this is paranoia. This is hypochondria.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. None of this is actually happening to him. And his appearance started to change. He used to be really clean cut and nice looking in high school. We'll have a picture of him from when he was in high school. He was a very just like average, normal, nice looking dude.
Okay.
But now in his 20s, he's looking really unkempt. His hair is longer. He's very messy. He lacks a lot of personal hygiene.
Oh.
Smells really bad. Just does not take care of himself in general. So since he was so worried for his physical health, he thought he would just find natural ways to heal. Natural being killing small animals to use their blood and bodies to heal himself.
Oh my gosh.
I know in the 1950s, they used to like prescribe cigarettes, but like,
yeah.
So I know we weren't like all the way up to date with like our medical stuff, but like this seems a little...
I can't help but laugh because the debate was just, I know you guys aren't getting this for a little bit, but the debate was just a couple of nights ago and all I could think of is they're eating your pets.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. No, but he literally was.
Lord.
So
I know. That's why I was like, he really...
Hey, but he's not an immigrant.
In this case, he's not.
Because that's just not that doesn't hold up. So
no.
Thank you. Okay, so you're worried for Richard at this point. I'm worried. Our listener is worried. And also his parents are worried for him.
Anybody would be, I would hope.
So he was admitted to Beverly Manor Psych Hospital where he was nicknamed Dracula.
Dracula or like Dracula with the D?
Am I saying it weird? I'm sorry. Dracula? Did I say Tracula by accident?
I swear to God you said Tracula. And I was like
the vampire.
Okay.
He was nicknamed this by the staff and other like patients there because when they would have like outside time in the courtyard, he would...
No.
I'm so sorry. He would capture little animals and snap their necks and drink their blood. He didn't even just do this outside. So when he started doing it outside, they're like, okay, no more outside time for you. He would reach through the bars of his room and capture. Specifically, he got 2 small birds and same thing. He snapped their neck, drank their blood. Oh, so gross.
How can you just what did he do? Just stand out, stick his hand out that window forever until a bird finally just freaking landed on it and he could...
I don't know how you're quick enough to grab one.
I don't either.
Also, they're very slippery. I mean, they fly. I only know from like chicken.
The chickens, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's hard.
Flap away.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So that's where he's at. So that not even being in the hospital is stopping him from doing what he wants, or what he thinks he needs to do. So hospital staff are saying he needs extensive care, but none of the doctors, none of his like psychiatrists and stuff are listening to the staff concerns because they're not with him all day, every day like the staff is. And so they discharge Richard to his parents because medication's not working and everything. And they don't see him as a danger to himself or others at this point. So they send him out to his parents. They're like, you're just going to have to be in charge of him. Just babysit him. So
he is drinking animal blood.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think this is going next? Where do you think this is going to escalate to? He becomes a robot? No, he's going to drink human blood.
It's okay to eat like a bloody steak.
I know.
By all means, like, that's okay. Don't do this, though. God. Okay. So his behavior continues, though, as if nothing had changed. Obviously. Mm-hmm. Neighbors start reporting seeing him walk around outside his mom's home naked. In the nude.
He really likes to be naked.
In the nude.
Okay.
Can you imagine? You know your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think her name's Beatrice. I think that's his mom's name. Whatever. You know her, and she's, stand-up lady, and and she keeps her house all neat and stuff, and then suddenly you just see her son, disgruntled white man, no hygiene, just perusing the streets, straight up dick and balls out.
Okay. The only time that's appropriate was my little brother or my older brother when he was a little kid. He went running out in the street butt naked, and there was a funeral home that was right next door. It was the Kimbrough funeral home, and the lady stuck her head out the window and was like, "Bubba," because we called him Bubba. He's like, "Get your butt back home. You're naked. You're naked." This is like at my grandma's or something.
Okay, this was in Texas though, right?
This was in Texas, and he was a kid.
Did they say
a grown
naked
adult
or naked?
Naked. You're naked. You're naked. Get back in there.
So we're moving on a little bit in time to just a weird thing that happens. So it's August 1977 at Pyramid Lake. This is in Nevada.
Okay.
Officers from Native American Affairs noticed a truck stuck in the sand. And so they meander on over, whatever. And they look inside the truck, and there are blood stains and rifles and a bucket that's got blood and a liver in it.
No!
A whole ass liver.
Oh.
So officers start looking for more clues. They're like, what the hell happened here? And they see a man naked up on a rock. And he's like crouched overlooking.
Like a bat?
Kind of, yeah. And then when the man sees the officers, he just bolts, he runs away, but the officers chase him down and they arrested, you guessed it, Richard. They questioned him, obviously, and he said the blood was his own. It is seeping out of his body through his skin. It's not happening that way.
No.
Yes,
no.
He is covered in blood
but
when they see him or like when they get to him, but it is not his own blood. He is not bleeding.
Right. And if you're seeping blood out of your pores, like you're dying.
Actively.
You're dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the blood and liver were from a cow.
Okay.
We don't know where the rest of the cow is.
Okay.
He was released with no charges.
I'm sorry. What?
How do you not get charged with like disturbance of the peace or something? Nudity? I don't know. There's just a plethora of things I feel like you could, I don't know.
Why wasn't he automatically put on a psych hold? Like that should have put him on another one. Cops can do that.
Yeah, it's the late 70s, guys.
An unsafe person.
Get it together.
Okay.
So at this point, his beliefs have like taken a new hold on him. He believes that Nazis want to turn his blood into powder, and he is being poisoned by everyone he knows.
I need to sit down with these doctors who discharged him.
Same. I just wonder if they're being updated through all this, because I feel like they're not.
Yeah. I understand it's the 70s, but this is clear fucking signs. Did you get your degree from a Cracker Jack box?
That's good.
I'm just saying. Have you never heard that before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, because in Cracker Jack boxes, we used to get little toys.
Yeah, they have toys, right? Yeah.
Yeah, now they're little stickers, and then you can go online and play games. I know. It's like jipping us. But yeah, so I'd always feel like, where'd you get your license? Cracker Jack box? My family said that all the time. That's funny.
You may be asking yourself, how is he getting to the Nazi theory?
Yeah.
I had the same question. So he's raised Catholic. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But he claims that he is Jewish. However, his parents are not, there is no Jewish lineage happening. No. Period.
That doesn't shock me.
Look at his last name.
Mm-hmm.
And they very much were just like a standard Catholic American family.
Yeah.
But he says he's Jewish and that he has the Star of David symbol on his forehead.
Okay.
He did not have a symbol on his forehead. Spoiler alert. Not even like a tattoo or something. Because at first I was thinking, did he like get a scarification? Like a branding or a...
Yeah. Oh, God.
You know? But no. No such luck.
Nothing.
At all. I don't get it.
Okay. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so he obviously didn't take to the Catholic beliefs at this point in time, thinking that he's Jewish. So at this point, he is driving his mother insane.
I was about to say, I bet.
Poor lady. So his father purchases an apartment for him to force him to move out of his mom's. I don't know why they thought this was better.
This is not a good idea.
But they did it. So alone in his new apartment, Richard starts to get worse while he's on his own.
Yeah.
He captures, kills, and disembowels various animals. And then he would eat them raw.
He really is stealing everybody's pets.
I know. Yeah.
This is disgusting.
This is so gross. He would put the entrails of the animals he killed into a blender to make smoothies.
Sir, that is not protein powder. That is not protein powder.
And add another scoop of protein powder. And then add another scoop. And I just like to add another scoop. Do you know that video?
No.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Actually,
protein powder. It's just like 18 scoops of protein powder. Anyway.
And then you have Richard come in and be like, and I just like to add a scoop of animal entrails.
He was doing this, though, because he thought that his heart was shrinking. And he thought, it's going to shrink too much and I'm going to disappear and die.
Okay. Can I be 100% honest right now?
Sure, if you want to.
I feel absolutely awful for this guy.
Yeah, it is. It's just a testament to like mental health in the time, you know?
He is absolutely disintegrating mentally. He's so paranoid that he feels like this is survival mode for him is what it looks and feels and sounds like. And nobody's helping him. Do I agree that his parents like got him to move out? No, but can I understand why they got to that? Because they've tried and the doctors are just like, can't do anything. Back in your care. You don't know how to fucking take care of this. You're not certified. You're not educated. You don't have a degree. So I can understand where she's like, I don't know what else to do, but like at least get you out of my house. Like,
I mean, I think by the end of the case, you'll kind of understand it is a huge conglomerate of things. And most of it just has to do with mental health and just not having like the best resources and not having enough research put into all of this. So
makes my heart hurt.
I know it makes my heart hurt too. Cause I just wonder if he had the resources he needed, would things have been different?
It makes you wonder.
Nature, nurture, all the things. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, when he's living on his own, he goes over to his mom's house. When she opens the door, He's holding a cat and he tears its head off and disembowels it and smears blood on his face. She does not report this. Simply close the door calmly.
What? How?
I am unsure why she did not report this. I feel like this was a clear sign of like escalation in a way, because it seems like, and this is what some investigators said, it seemed like he was mad at her and he wanted her to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people had, in various like articles and stuff, had proposed the idea that she was possibly an abuser as well. So she wasn't just a victim, like a 1950s housewife, that she was also part of the abuse. And that very well could be true. I don't know everything that happened in that house.
Yeah.
So
let's play, I was going to say victim's advocate. Let's play devil's advocate and say that she wasn't also an abuser. But I can also understand why she wouldn't call in this situation. She hasn't gotten any help. A fucking officer caught him with buckets of cow blood and livers and whatever the hell else all over his truck. And he was like, sir, let's not have you do this again. That was a silly goose move. Let's just bye, go home.
He's not like other guys. He's worse.
Yeah. I can see why and then like doctors, they just let him go from the hospital and send him home to his mama. So I can see where she was coming from if she was thinking like, there's like, I've already tried to get help. So like, there's nothing that's changed. But
I think it's a little bit of a testament. Some people think maybe she like calmly closed the door in shock. I think this was not new to her. I think because of all the things that she had witnessed, she was like, I cannot engage with this. I cannot let him know it affects me. Even if she was disgusted and shocked, maybe she was just like, I have to give no reaction because
that's what he wants.
When I gave a reaction in the past, fill in the blank, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Moving on. At the end of 1977, he was chasing bigger game. In a neighborhood in East Sacramento on December 29th, a 51-year-old named Ambrose Griffin turned up dead suddenly.
Okay, wow.
Mr. Griffin was unloading groceries from his car and walking towards his house when a passing car drove by and shot him.
What?
He had no enemies. It was a quiet neighborhood. Almost no evidence was at the scene. His wife even thought, so she was like helping him unload stuff. She had been in the house. She comes back out and he's fallen over. She doesn't see the gunshot wound. And she's thinking, he just had a heart attack and died right here. And she's like, what? It was so sudden. So
it's literally a drive-by shooting.
Literally a drive-by shooting.
Okay.
So almost no evidence was at the scene, but a few blocks down, there are 22 shell casings that were found. December 27th, a few days earlier than this, a woman's house had been shot at with the same 22. No one was harmed, though. So it seems like they tried to do a drive-by, but were not successful. So that first drive-by, though, no one was harmed. Second one claims Mr. Griffin's life.
Okay.
So January 11th of 78.
Hold on. Wait. First drive-by shooting, and then they found the shell casings down the street from the second drive-by shooting. But was there another shooting that same night, or it was just like a pile of shell casings?
No, there was no. So like, as you're driving, he was driving by so quickly that like shell casings like were down the road a bit.
Does that make sense? Bitches. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So
an object in motion will stay in motion.
It will. So let me give you a timeline. So the 27th of December, 1977 is that first shooting with the 22 that hits that woman's house, but does not kill anyone, doesn't hit anyone at all. Then 2 days later, on the 29th, we're still in the year 77. That's when Mr. Griffin is murdered.
Okay.
And now we are moving into January 11th of 78.
Okay.
Richard begins terrorizing his own neighborhood.
Oh my God.
There are several calls to police stating that there is a prowler in backyards. They see someone trying to open doors. They're not trying to break in. They're just like seeing if doors are open or if windows are open.
It's the 70s. Everything's unlocked.
Everything's unlocked. Well, not everything, but this intruder was unknown to police at the time, but it was Richard. Spoiler alert. Sorry. And fear was quickly blanketing the community because when he got into a house finally, oh, it was bad. He wrecked it. He urinated into a drawer filled with baby clothes and shit on a child's bed. It's so insulting. Like, what a gross invasion.
Why?
He was not thinking rationally. It's obvious.
I know. And
he doesn't know up from down. He doesn't know anything at all. And it just kept escalating because no one was home at the time. No one was hurt.
Can you?
Oh my God.
Can you fucking imagine
coming home to that? No.
Yes. And you walk into your baby's room and it just like, you're hit with a stench of ammonia and feces.
Well,
and then you find it.
I want you to also think about this. He is eating raw animals. He is drinking a lot of blood. What do you think that stuff smells like?
Oh my God. I bet
it's even worse than like when you take a really gross shit. You know, it's worse than that. Okay? It's worse.
You were so passionate about that. It is worse than when you take a really gross shit.
I mean it.
I know you do.
Okay. So, January 23rd, 1978, just a couple weeks later, Teresa Wallen was taking out the trash at her house. She was shot with a .22 and dragged to the back of her house into her bedroom. She was butchered with a knife, and the gun was found in the mailbox.
In the mailbox? What?
I have worse things to say.
Oh my God.
She was pregnant. If you need to leave now, you can leave.
Oh my God.
She was found with her clothes pushed up. Her legs were spread open. She had been disemboweled. She was 3 months pregnant. Someone had also cut her open, taken the child out, and drained the blood into a cup, like a used yogurt cup that was in the house, and drank hers and the baby's blood.
I have no words. I know you guys want me to respond right now, but I can't respond.
I have a hard time deciphering if this was from rage or if it was from curiosity.
Yeah.
Because investigators said that, like, it seemed curious in a way when it came to the butchering part.
Mm-hmm.
He, like, not that he carefully did this, but, like, you could tell he had, like, taken things out, put things back in.
Oh, it was like an exploratory process.
Kind of. It was just the weirdest, most horrible, horrific thing. So, unfortunately, her life was claimed and her baby's. I'm so sorry. He was mutilating them the same way that he did animals, though. He was the disemboweling thing. I don't understand where that specifically is intriguing this person.
I don't either.
And to try to make sense of this, remember his sexual issues?
Yeah.
It feels like he's manifesting them with violent curiosity.
Yeah.
So like killers and abusers like Richard, they don't have emotions. So they don't think about something being right or wrong. It's more of a primitive thing, curiosity, and then sexual repression. Mm-hmm. He thought of Teresa as an object, which she definitely is not. She never will be, never has been, nothing like that. Rest in peace and power to the beautiful and brave Teresa Wallen. She just wanted to take out her trash.
Oh my God.
She should have been able to do that peacefully.
Yes.
I don't know if that gives you like a sense of like, I guess you can not understand, but like,
yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I know what you're saying. I
don't know exactly how to put it, but if you can just peer into his mind a little bit, you might kind of see what's happening inside.
Yeah.
So at this point, police are racing to identify the killer because
that's graphic and
that's a lot. And people are also beginning to buy guns because they're torn up. They're fearful. Everybody's buying up guns and ammo at this point. They're very upset.
Cannot blame them.
I don't.
He's scared as shit too.
I mean, if someone did that to a pregnant woman.
Nobody's off the chopping block, basically. Oh, that was a horrible turn of phrase to use for this, but
I didn't notice it until you said it. Okay. But they were not quick enough to catch Richard because January 27th, a couple of days later, 3 more bodies are found.
3?
I'm telling you, the escalation, guys, it is just...
It's unmatched by anything we've ever covered.
Yeah, I mean, this is all happening in the span of just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It was kind of similar to Teresa Wallen's murder. So Daniel Meredith was shot in the head in the front room of this house in his community. Evelyn Murrah was in the back bedroom. I don't know how these people know each other also. I don't know if they're family members or just neighbors or just friends. I don't know how any of these people know each other because they all have different last names.
Okay.
These 3 people. So Daniel Meredith is in the front room. He was shot in the head. He's laying on the floor. Evelyn Murrah is in the back bedroom. She was mutilated. Her organs were removed and she had been sodomized.
Oh my God.
And her abdomen had been opened up similarly to how Teresa's had. Unfortunately, the 3rd victim is, Evelyn's 5-year-old son. I'm sorry. So I do know how Evelyn is related to this person. I don't know Daniel's
relation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her 5-year-old son had been shot in the head. He was laying on the floor by her bed. Notice that the 2 males were not cut open.
Yeah.
Or like sexualized in any way. So this is where like we kind of see the sexual repression kind of taking form in a horrific manner.
Yeah.
Also in the bathroom, the tub was just filled with bloody water. I don't really know what was happening there.
Yeah.
Because none of them are in the tub.
Right.
And there's no like drag marks or anything.
I wonder if he just like rinsed himself off in the tub and like let it stay there. Like he didn't drain anything.
It's possible. So the police, they are quickly informed too that there is a 4th person that needs to be found that was with Evelyn and Daniel and that 5-year-old. That is 22 months old baby.
No. Mm-mm. Oh my God, 22 months? That's almost 2 years old.
Yeah. A 22-month-old had been in the house with them. Many volunteers immediately were stepping up to find this baby. So, but they had no clues since this guy was so random. He had no pattern for who he sought out to kill.
Yeah.
Who he was picking. It's hard to nail down a profile on this dude. So,
yeah.
What they did know is this is probably a white man in his 20s.
Oh.
That's all I could take. And he had been seen. So remember, neighbors had been calling in tips and being like, hey, there's a freaky dude out
here. Okay.
So they're describing a white male in a bright orange parka. He's scraggly, he's thin, he's got long dark hair, he's emaciated looking, and he's peering into people's homes. So they know there's some kind of creeper, and they're thinking this is probably the same dude that's doing all this stuff. So a break in the case came very quickly. A girl who went to high school with Richard saw a sketch from the police of the suspect, and she remembered an encounter that she had at a shopping center on the day of Teresa's murder.
What?
A man approached her, dirty, orange jacket, long hair, gross, and he had a blank look, and possibly it looked like dried blood on his hands.
Oh,
She did not recognize her classmate.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
No.
But he said to her, do you remember a guy who died on a motorcycle in high school? He just walked up and asked that.
Okay.
And her boyfriend in high school had been killed in a motorcycle crash.
Oh my gosh.
So she was so frightened and confused. She said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Rick Chase." And she freaked out and she jumped in the car and she drove off. And then she saw the sketch and she made the connection. Oh my God, that former classmate is probably the guy they're looking for. So she did go ahead and report him when she saw that.
Oh, good
Thank
girl.
God. They did a background check and saw everything documented on Richard. So they were like, this is our guy. We need to go find him. One of the detectives said in an interview at this point, he was so emotionally involved. He thought to himself, if I find this baby with Richard Chase, I will kill him on the spot, like on site. I will tell my men to kill him.
To save the baby.
Like they're all ready to kill him because there's so much turmoil happening in the community. Plus there's a missing baby.
Yeah.
And he's torn apart these women in the community. And, you know, the community is just really shaken up. And those are their people. You care about your people, you know?
Yeah.
Your little tribe. So they go to his apartment on January 28th. And they contact the manager and confirmed his apartment number. Police knock, no response. But they heard movement. And they were like, okay, we can't get in there without a warrant. So somebody call for a warrant. So they all kind of like move away from the apartment while they're waiting for a warrant to be signed.
Okay.
So this is so good. This is my favorite part. Okay. This is where it gets juicy. So they call for a warrant and they move to the side and they've all gotten like quiet. They've stopped talking and everything. And so Richard thinks that they've left. And he leaves the apartment and the police are on him. They start chasing him. They grab him. And one of the officers smacks him in the head.
What?
It caused him to fall. And then they were like wrestling with Richard.
Oh my gosh.
And like Richard had a gun on him. So they were like, oh no. And then, I mean, they overpowered him eventually. He's kind of emaciated and stuff. He's kind of weak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they arrest him in his apartment. So they get that warrant and they go in his apartment. Most, if not all, objects inside are covered in blood.
Oh my
the
God.
Couch, the ceiling, the walls, the light switches, the appliances, the floor, the carpet, the clothes, the curtains, the TV.
Oh my gosh.
You name it, there's probably blood on it.
Did you ever watch Dexter?
Yes.
So do you know that episode where his brother, right?
Yes.
And he just like takes all the blood and throws it and covers that hotel room? That's what I was envisioning when you said all that.
Yeah. Very Dexter coded. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, also, there are substances in jars and his blender.
Oh, I got the shivers on that one. Oh, no.
The blender is the worst part for me. Turns out they were organs mixed with Coca-Cola. I can't. I'll never drink Coca-Cola ever in my life again. I don't. No.
Don't ruin Coke for me. I love Coca-Cola.
This is so gross. I've already taken a shower today, but I feel like I need another one. Like,
yeah.
So, but the baby is nowhere to be found. Detectives interrogate him, and Richard admits to killing dogs. But as detectives start to dole out crime scene photos, Richard starts leaning in, fascinated. And in second rounds of questioning, they discovered that he is mentally unwell because he starts talking about aliens and Nazis and thinking that people are out to get him. But he is well enough to be like, I need an attorney. So he asked for an attorney.
Wow.
2 months later, the baby was found.
2 months?
Yeah. The baby was found on in March of 1978, less than 1 mile from Richard's apartment, at a place called Arcade Wesleyan Church. The church's caretaker, so like the person that does like landscaping and basic maintenance for the building. Found the baby's body in a box outside the church building between two buildings. The body was badly decomposed. He had been decapitated, but all of his remains were inside the box.
Oh my gosh.
Rest in peace and love, little one. His name was David.
Oh my gosh.
So 6 people are dead.
I know he's mentally unwell, but I also want...
There's no excuse.
I want the same punishment that how he killed his victims.
When it's... Not to say adults don't matter, but when it's children, it hits different.
It does.
In the worst way. So
it really does.
I don't have any mercy.
Mm-mm.
I don't.
Mm-mm.
In 1979, Richard is tried and pleads insanity. He obviously has mental diseases. We know this. But he actually does know right from wrong. When they get him with the psychiatrist, the court-appointed one, he knows right from wrong. And he was deemed sane for court.
Yeah.
But he was also diagnosed by that same psychiatrist with paranoid schizophrenia.
That's what I was that was the diagnosis I was trying to say earlier, and it just would not come to me.
Okay. I have very mixed feelings on this diagnosis because I feel like for almost any complex mental health issue, they automatically slapped this label on it. In this case, I feel like it does make sense, but I automatically I reel back a little bit when I hear that in older cases. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah. I get that.
In this case, it definitely does hold up, I think.
I agree.
I don't know. Do you get it? Like, same thing with the DID and everything. Like, the way that people used to just slap a label on something that they didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
So,
and it has a way of demonizing certain illnesses, like DID. It was called multiple personality disorder, but people always kind of viewed it as like, oh my gosh, if you have that, you're going to go out and like murder people.
Yeah, scary, and you're a bad person. You have no morals. And same thing with paranoid schizophrenia. Like, not every patient is the same. Just like a person with anxiety could either be very violent or very recluse.
And that's why just because you have paranoid schizophrenia or DID or any of that stuff doesn't mean you get to like just commit crimes loosey-goosey and everything's fine. Because there are plenty of people. I know 2 people who have DID. They have multiple parts, and I've seen their multiple parts. I've talked to them, and they're wonderful people. I trust them with my life. And so that's the thing is with the court, you have to, the best way I know how to describe it is, or like not describe it, but like the best case I know to point to is that Greyhound bus murders. If you've ever heard of that case, the guy has like a complete break from reality and just starts going crazy and murdering, like a guy on a Greyhound bus. And he literally was insane. Like he had been dealing with schizophrenia and stuff, but it was undiagnosed and he was off his pills. And like, he literally had a complete break from reality. And when he came back to, he didn't realize what he had done, kind of thing. That is what the insanity plea is for. Not, I have mental health issues, but I also want to explore somebody's body. And so I'm going to be like, I'm insane. That's not how that works.
I love how you put that. You put it in the perfect words and perspective. So the court wanted him sentenced to death. On the stand, Richard admitted to drinking the victim's blood and decapitating the infant for more blood. He said he thought drinking blood would be therapeutic, and he described himself as a good person, but mentally and physically very weak. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew that it was wrong. In May of 1979, the jury found him guilty of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to death and sent to San Quentin prison. Many inmates feared him greatly.
Not shocked.
Can you imagine? Literally none of the gangs would touch him. None. And they would actually
eat you like a vampire.
Because I knew that he was mentally unwell, so they would actually like try to persuade him to kill himself. Not like in a taunting way, but they'd be like, just get it over with so that you don't have to wait on death row. Like, you should just do it yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Which no one should tell anyone to kill themselves.
No.
It's just not your place. So while he was in prison, he did a series of interviews with a man named Robert Ressler. During which he talked about his fears of the Nazis and like the aliens, and he claimed that although he had killed, it was not his fault, and that he had been forced to kill to keep himself alive. Just not true. He also asked Ressler to give him access to a radar gun with which he could apprehend the Nazi aliens so that the Nazis could stand trial for the murders, because he was not the real murderer, it was them. He also handed Ressler a large amount of macaroni and cheese that he had been hoarding in his pants pockets. I'm sorry.
What? This was like Ella. This is like Ella last year pulling out fucking tater tots out of her pants when I picked her up from school.
It's very Napoleon Dynamite.
It is so Napoleon Dynamite.
So yeah, they did not, spoiler alert, did not take the radar gun and threw away the mac and cheese. So
that's good.
On December 26th of 1980, a guard was doing cell checks and found Richard laying kind of weird in his bed, and he was not breathing. Unfortunately, he had committed suicide with an overdose of prison doctor-described antidepressants that he had been hoarding for the last couple of weeks.
Wow.
So
that's the way to go. Okay.
That is the end of this case, but let us remember the victims: Ambrose Griffin, 51, Teresa Wallen, 22, and her 3-month-old infant. Or her 3-month-old, I don't know how to put that.
Fetus, I guess.
Okay,
fetus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Evelyn Murrah, 38, her son Jason, 6, and her nephew David, the 22-month-old, and her friend Dan Meredith, 51.
Wow.
Super sucky.
That was an insane crime spree there.
Very scary. The way that they like found his apartment, I automatically started getting flashbacks to the whole Dahmer thing and how like, I know his apartment wasn't covered in blood necessarily, but last year in the spooky cases that we did, when you talked about Dahmer, like the fridge, everything in the fridge, you know?
Yeah. He had all the meat.
Did he blend up stuff, or did I just make that up in my head?
No, I think there was a pot on the stove with stuff in it.
No, that was it. Yes, he had cooked meat. Okay. It was just all very like reminiscent of that somehow. Yeah. So super rough case. Thanks for hanging in there.
Just wish I could look inside their brain. I know. What is going on in there? I'm so curious.
And I think if this had happened now, like in the present age, we would have more answers.
Yeah.
And maybe looking back, no, I don't know. Maybe if you're in psychiatrics, you know, and you look back at that case, maybe you can see more information, more like puzzle pieces to the whole thing. But
yeah,
it's just weird because of where mental health was back then.
Yeah.
And then also like the culture too was a huge factor. Being raised in a strict Catholic home. Yeah. You know, not having parents that protected you, or, you know, seeing them as abusers in some ways.
Yeah. It was like a domino effect that he just couldn't.
Perfect storm.
Yeah. Perfect storm. That's a good way of putting it. Wow.
Which is weird because he had a brother. Nothing bad ever happened with that dude. So,
and that's what's crazy too. It's like the nature versus nurture discussion. It's like you can have 2, 3 of the same people that grew up in the exact same home you're not going to have the exact same experiences because
but you're taught the same things. You like are around the same environment, and you turn out you have completely different experiences and dynamics with your parents. Yes. Super.
Whereas this extreme, you're always going to have different experiences. My brother and sisters and I, like we all have very different experiences. Our traumas are from different things. Our parents treated us differently. And it was all very different.
Yeah.
but not one of us is out there fucking murdering people.
Yeah. Well, for the palate cleansers, I thought we would do something a little bit different. I didn't tell you about this.
You didn't.
Can we talk about our favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this.
Do you automatically know what yours is?
Oh, yeah. I have two.
Okay, what is it?
Okay. I'm a crayon eater, okay?
So what?
I love me some candy corn.
Oh.
I fucking love candy corn. I always love
do you have a deficiency? Where's your primary care physician? Give me the number.
I have, I always love the meme that comes out around this year that's like, it's, spooky season again for all you psychopathic crayon eaters. And I'm like, I love candy corn. It's so good.
Okay, candy corn. And what was the other one?
The other one is the white chocolate Reese's. I know you can get them any time of the year, but when you get them in spooky season, they're the shape of ghosts and you have way more peanut butter to chocolate ratio. And I just love them.
Okay, I've heard this with peanut butter eaters is that they like the Reese cups that are like have the extra filling. And especially the ones that come around spooky season or Thanksgiving too. Didn't they have?
They have them all year. So they'll have them like footballs. They'll have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And like anytime they come out with like a holiday themed one, I snag up. I have 2 bags of them in my.
See, yeah, because they have like a bigger ratio of the peanut butter filling. And that's like apparently the best part. I don't know.
They're my favorite. Oh no. You can't have them.
No, I can't.
Because you're allergic to peanuts.
I will simply pass away.
You will die. You can't have my favorite. Candy, those are my favorite.
Well.
So what's your favorite?
I'll do one that's chocolate and then one that's not. Whatever. Okay, for chocolate, I would say... I'll say Kit Kat.
Kit Kat?
I love a Kit Kat, but not the white chocolate. I don't like that at all.
I love white chocolate.
The classic Kit Kat. I don't want any fancy flavors, and I eat Kit Kats really weird.
Do you break them apart, like the layers?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll explain it to you, my process. My process is I bite like all the chocolate off the outside and then I eat it layer by layer.
I get that. So
I completely skin it and then I eat it layer by layer because I'm super gross.
That's what I do with Heath bars. I'll nibble the chocolate all the way around and then I like peel the chocolate off the top and then I eat the toffee.
Okay.
Why? I don't know. I'm weird as hell.
I mean, to each his own.
Okay, what's your other one?
My other one, I think, is going to have to be a little Sour Patch Kids, Sour Patch things.
Oh, I love
or like
them.
Sour Patch straws, any of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, those are
gelatin-based, sweet, sour goodness with
Did you ever
of the red 40.
Give me all the chemicals. Did you ever eat the I know they still have them today, but like growing up, did you ever eat like the warheads and stuff?
I was afraid of them as a child, and I still have not tried a warhead ever in my life.
You've never had a warhead?
I just don't think that the opportunity presented itself as an adult. And like, I just was told, I've always been told, oh, you would hate it. You would hate it.
Do you like sour?
I do like sour things.
They're sour, but not for long. Like,
oh, really?
They're like,
do they get sweet?
And then they get sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I might try one this year. Who knows?
Yeah. They're good. I like them. I lived off them. Oh, I loved the tangy, sour, just like all of that stuff. Sour Skittles.
Those are good.
My mouth. Oh yeah, they beat up my mouth for a good solid week after eating them. But I love them.
You're a glutton for punishment.
I really am. One time they gave me thrush. I'm not even fucking kidding. Because do you know what thrush is?
Yes, and I didn't know you could get that from it.
I was like, what the hell? It took me like a week because I was like, what the fuck is wrong with my tongue? I ate a whole bag of the Sour Skittles and I had made homemade salsa and it was like super like, acidic, right? And so I ate a whole bag of that and then I ate a whole bag of, or like a whole bunch of my salsa in one night. And my tongue was never the same for like a solid week. And I was like, what is going on? I went to my doctor and he was like, let's give it a couple more days, see what happens. 2 days later, like all this white stuff. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I have thrush. Called my doctor and he's like, yep, that's me. It took 2 prescriptions to get it to go away. It was so bad. And I was like,
oh, was that
wow,
painful?
Yeah, it like your whole tongue hurts. And like if I ate anything that was like salty or
gotta go bland.
Too acidic. Yeah, too acidic. It would make my tongue hurt. And it was really gross. And I didn't realize you could get that as an adult. And I was like, oh.
Be advised this Halloween season.
Because it just threw off the pH of my whole entire mouth. And it just, that's crazy.
You know, the perfect pH level for our bodies is 7.
7. That's neutral.
Jot that down. Keep yourself at 7, guys. Just 7. All right. That's it. That's it for us for now. Thanks for tuning in this spooky season.
We'll see you next week for another spooky episode. I'm excited for next week's episode.
Oh, me too. I can't wait to hear it. With that, please stay safe, stay skeptical, and
steer clear of the cultish carousel. We interrupt this episode with a message from our sponsor. If you've ever deconstructed your faith, you know it's not easy. But just imagine if you could have people to guide you through the process.
That's right. People like Jim Palmer, Kristen Dumez, author of Jesus and John Wayne, Jennifer Knapp, Brad Jerzak, Brian Zond, Paul Young, author of The Shack, and more. Well, if you head over to choiracademy.com and register for Square 2 using the promo code LOLA, you'll get 10% off the regular registration cost of this awesome course and community just for being a fan of our show.
All links can be found in the show notes. Again, that's code LOLA, LOLA, for 10% off the Square 2 course. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, please like, subscribe, do all the things because we love you and we know you love us. Also, Patreon Drip, you know the drill. We've got some fun apparel over there. I really love the Death Moth sweatshirt. I've been wearing it almost every day and I'm ready for it to get cold so I can just put it on and never take it off and I'll be a stinky winky girl. Also go over to our Patreon, $5 a month, and you can listen to us shoot the shit and talk about some fun stuff. Deadly Faith Podcast is brought to you by Choircast Network. It is produced by Laci Beat and Lola Robbins and audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening.